Dude, we found your car. The feds have had enough. Doug puts boots on the ground, and so much more. Welcome to 6 Minutes, the show that keeps you up to date with the 6 in minutes. I'm your host, Georgie. Let's get ready to these stories. The federal government says their offer made on Friday to the over 100,000 striking Canadian workers is their final offer.
But we've come off of the 13.5 twice. I think we're coming in at like 10 now. They don't want to budge on 9%. And what that shows is they don't care. If they don't care about us, they don't care about the rest of the country.
There is no word on exactly what the government has offered the Public Service Alliance of Canada employees. However, the two parties say they are expecting to remain at the bargaining table all weekend. Initially, PSAC came to the table with over 570 demands, and only a handful have been resolved. The key issues for strikers remain wages and working from home. PSAC has been escalating their protesting tactics, seen blocking access to federal buildings, even blocking roadways and ports. PSAC, who previously paid their taxpayer-funded employees to go counter-protest against the Freedom Convoy, are being touted by many as extremely hypocritical for these actions. What is your take on the strike? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below.
Dude, where's my car?
The Toronto Police probably found it. The TPS shared results on their ongoing Project Stallion, in which 550 stolen cars were recovered and 314 criminal charges have been laid since beginning the investigation in November 2022.
Project Stallion has already resulted in the arrest, as you've heard, of 119 individuals and 314 criminal charges being laid. We've also recovered 556 stolen vehicles as of April the 11th, with a combined value of over $27 million.
According to the Toronto Police, vehicle thefts have more than doubled since 2019. Doug Ford announces plans on Tuesday to increase police presence as major crime in Toronto increases by 20% since the same time last year.
To help police services attract new recruits, our government will now cover 100% of the cost of tuition. We'll also be introducing legislation that, if passed, will eliminate the post-secondary education requirement to become a police officer. And we're immediately expanding the number of recruits that can be trained every year.
If approved, the Ford government's proposed legislation will take away the requirement for post-secondary education in the Community Safety and Policing Act. According to a press release from the Ontario government, class sizes will increase from 480 recruits per group to 550. And starting 2024, there will be 4 groups per year instead of 3. The 12-week policing program from the Ontario Policing College is usually $15,450. Costs the government will now be incurring. According to Indeed, the average salary for a police officer in Ontario is $95,737. It's official. Bill C-11 has passed through the Senate and Canadians have mixed emotions.
At best, C-11 is just about neutralizing the internet and making it all Canadian all the time. At worst, it's about government picking and choosing which voices can be seen and which voices can be heard.
Senators voted 52-16 on the motion, granting the bill royal assent by 6:55 p.m. on Thursday. Bill C-11 will subject services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube to follow Canadian content rules, as well as force them to fund Canadian productions. Bill C-11 will also give the CRTC, who work at an arm's length with the Canadian government, the ability to regulate almost all monetized content on all major platforms. It is expected that we won't see any significant changes until the CRTC and the government figure out exactly how to act on this newly passed bill. Tory Lanez claims the prosecution presented false and misleading DNA evidence to get a guilty verdict in the Megan Thee Stallion trial. Tory Lanez posted this video on his Instagram page alleging his DNA was never found on the gun used in the shooting.
DA Kathy Tarr and Alex Bott completely manipulated my DNA results and lied to the world, the media, and most importantly, my jury, by stating my DNA on the gun was inconclusive. That was an absolute lie. They went on further to say, inconclusive means that he cannot be excluded from the gun. My new attorney, Jose Baez, hired one of the best DNA experts in the nation to carefully analyze the same DNA test the fair and correct way. The results came back exactly as I knew this whole time. My DNA is 100% excluded and 100% eliminated from the gun. In other words, it's physically and scientifically impossible for me to ever have touched or shot this gun.
During the trial, the prosecution told the jury that DNA evidence showed Tory could not be excluded from having touched the weapon. In this excerpt taken from the motion to file for a new trial, Tory's lawyers alleged it was more likely that the DNA found on the gun was from somebody else. Tory Lanez's motion hearing for a new trial is set to take place on May 8th. New music this week, On April 28th, Jack Harlow dropped his new album, Jackman. This one's called Blame on Me, produced by Toronto's very own Boy Wonder. Check this one out.
We grew up in the same household. For years we were close, throwing football in the yard till the lights turned on inside the lamppost. Years go by, something changed when you got the...
On April 25th, Tory Lanez dropped Ginobili, featuring The Verse. Check this one out.
24 bitches and 24 inches, I feel like a car, yeah, yeah. Balling on niggas and stuff with finesse, and I feel like Ginobili, yeah, yeah. All of you niggas that shitted on me, I promise you reap what you sow, yeah.
And on April 25th, Doobie dropped Ladders. Check this one out.
Keep in mind every time they count you out, just go harder. Turn on the stove, throw on the pot, you see the phone cloud. 4 niggas in the car, but only one go shoot. Probably hate me for being me.
All music heard in these episodes can be found in the Showcase Toronto Spotify playlist. And that's it for this episode of 6 Minutes. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to tune into next week's episode. One love.